Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Now, we had a game tonight. It was Minnesota at Philly. Basically, coming into this game, I told everybody that Minnesota, in my opinion, would finish in the bottom two or bottom last. It's going to be them and the Bears. And I told everybody that the Lions and the Packers were going to take that division. But we have to see in the upcoming weeks how Dan Campbell's John Madden football coaching, we're going to see how he is. Now, when this game started and everything, Minnesota had a good drive going. They had a chance to answer back. They couldn't answer back. And it was quite disturbing on their end why they couldn't answer back. They were fumbling the ball. I believe they fumbled the ball. Every time they got close, they weren't able to get anything done. They had 4 fumbles, which cost them. They were trying to run the ball, or they were trying to get the ball and move it, and guys were fumbling everywhere. So the rushing attempts, this is what really killed the Vikings, is their rushing yards. They only had 28, and that's because of the fumbleitis of the running back. Madison, to me, has always been a solid number 2 back. I don't believe he's going to be the back to be able to replace a la Dalvin Cook. The game first quarter was a crawl, defensive game. The Eagles defense showing why they're touted as one of the best defenses in the league. Now, the 49ers, I believe, defense is a little better than the Eagles. Now, the Eagles have a tough defense because they got that D-line. The Eagles have a better D-line than the Niners, period. The Niners, I believe, have a better linebacking core because you got Warner, you got Greenlaw. Now, the secondary, I'll say the Eagles are better. They're slightly better. Yeah, Tre'Davious Ward is good, but he's not better than Slay. And they have 2 safeties who are pretty good as well. Now, we'll see in the upcoming weeks, who's better or not. But this game, of course, was also time of possession. The Eagles dominated running the ball. They weren't very effective passing early, so what did they do? They started running the ball. They started giving the ball to Swift. And gave it to Penny a little bit. Penny, to me, probably, if Gainwell wasn't hurt, Penny would not have gotten any touches. Penny has not really been that effective, but Swift basically took the game over, doing what he does best. Now, Jalen Hurts only attempted 23 attempts passing. Now, he did have 12 carries, which is okay for him. I want to see them cut them carries down to 8 or 7, maybe 6. Hurts is taking way too many hits. Way too many hits. Which I believe, is going to hurt them down the stretch if anything happens to Hurts. Mariota's not going to be able to come in and just take over like that. He doesn't have the leadership or the galvanization to bring everybody together. So, to me, the Eagles, offensively, to me, I'll give them a B. I give them a B minus. I felt like I give them a C plus, B minus. Jalen Hurts, to me, that first throw to Devontae Smith, that could have been a touchdown. He kind of underthrew it. Now, the second time he connected with Devontae Smith, which I believe was the second quarter or the third, I think it was the second quarter. Devontae caught it and got in the end zone. It was led out there for him. He caught it, and it was easy touchdown. Though that's what I need to see Hurts do. Hurts, he underthrew him, and to me, Hurts got to let it fly. You got to let it fly. You can't just hold on to the ball, and then when you throw it, you don't have much air under it. You got to let it go. Now, Swift, his problem has been injury. Outside of injury, Swift has been one of the best running backs the past 2 years, I believe. So he's a guy who you don't want to run into the ground. I would like to see Rashad Penny. Penny has got to do better. If not, then they got to find another running back. Scott, I believe, got some carries. He got 5 carries, which was good, so you had to switch a pace. I think he got nicked up because you really didn't see him that much. But Swift had 28 carries, 175 yards. That's what I want to see him get, at least between 25 to 30 carries a game, which his offense is predicated on. Jalen Hurts, got a rushing TD, of course, threw a TD, threw a pick. The pick was very ugly. To me, don't force it in triple coverage. Well, it was double coverage at first. He thought he could split the seam. The other guy underneath who was dropping jumped the route and got the pick. I believe that you got to be more careful what you're doing. Make sure that you're watching what you're doing. Don't force anything. The more you force something, the more it's going to put your defense in harm's way. Now, sorry about that. Now, the Eagles had a total of 430 yards, 171 passing yards, which I like it. They play old school smash mouth football. And it's not aesthetically pleasing to watch. Like if you're a guy who wants high scoring and you want the ball thrown everywhere, that's not Hurts' game. Hurts' game is dink and dunk. And this is in Dallas Cowboys. If you're watching this is the way you want Dak to play. I don't want to hear about that, oh, you paid him all this money, so what? Dak, if you keep him between 20 to 25 attempts a game, get a solid running game going, Dallas could really challenge this team for the division. Dallas could win. Dallas could challenge. The Commanders, I call them the Redskins. They're going to be the Redskins forever for me. They could compete. The Giants, yeah, they got blown out week 1, but they could bounce back. The Eagles, offensively, passing-wise, is not there. I want to at least see Hurts get between, at least, that's good. If he can get at least 200 yards passing, that'll be a bonus. But 170, like I said, 150 to 200 yards is what I believe Jalen Hurts ought to aim for. And then on the ground, he also gives you yards. He gave you, I think, 35 yards tonight. And he was averaging, 35 yards. And he was averaging 3 yards a pop, which is damn good. He got 2 TDs on the ground and, of course, a TD throwing. Swift got a TD on the ground. So, Devontae got his TD. Now, A.J. Brown, of course, A.J. Brown was frustrated, but at the same time, you got to keep your cool. But to me, I don't think he was. I think they were overblowing it. I just think he wished he could have got some more passes thrown to him. And then that's the thing I give Hurts credit for. He went to him right after they got back on the field after that incident. It's just that one was called back and the other one was a pass interference, which was BS what they did. So now rushing, they were 259 yards per play. They averaged 6, which is great. They got 24 first downs. Third down efficiency, they were 6 of 14. Now, 6 of 14, that is 43%. That is not good. That is not good. If you want to win a Super Bowl, you've got to do better than 43%. You at least got to be in the 60 percentile. You need to be in the 60 percentile when it comes to third downs. High 50s, low 60s is what I would recommend. It's rarely that you'll get 70 or 80%. That's just if you got a blowout going or you're just that damn good. But high 50s, low 60s is where I want to see them do better when it comes to getting the third down conversions. Total plays, they ran 75, 4 sacks allowed, 4 punts. Too many penalties for the Eagles. Eagles had 7 penalties for 45 yards. I believe a lot of it was holding or false starts and stuff. They got to do better than that. You got to minimize the penalties. I always say 0 penalties, but if you do get penalties, keep it between 1 to 3 penalties. You don't want it to be 4 and above because that's just entering dangerous zones. And this is what really kept the Vikings around, as well as the penalties and the lack of third down success. The lack of third down success is what hurt the Eagles in this game, and this is why the Eagles didn't have a blowout. Because it was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. So, 1 pick thrown. Got to clean that up. I just talked about it with Jalen Hurts throwing it in double coverage. He thought he could split the seam, but the guy underneath, I think he was playing sort of a zone. It looked like he was playing curl to flat. I'm not sure. He was running man in one of the other man zone, and he jumped the route and got a pick, which was very good on his end. But the players, like I said, Hurts attempting 23 throws is amazing. Like I said, I would want him to throw between 20 to 25 attempts a game. And he almost had 200 yards, which is a plus. Running the ball, Swift had 28. Because of his injury-prone history, I would want him to cut that down to 20 carries. At least give him 20 carries, and I would give, of course, 10 of those or 8 of those I would try to get to Scott. But I think Scott got hurt. But if Scott's hurt, Penny going to have to step up. You can't have Hurts and Swift like your main guys carrying the ball. You're going to get both of them hurt. So, defensively, they were solid. They just have to do better, to me, passing. Their pass defense is what's going to hurt them. Because they gave up 346 yards passing. That's unacceptable. But they did only give up 28 yards rushing, which is a plus. I just think the Vikings stopped running the ball. They just really didn't utilize the running game. And like I said, I don't believe Madison is that guy. They've got to find them another running back. They got to. Now, the Vikings thing is they didn't get no points in the first quarter. They got 7 in the second, which, they were down 7-13. And then third quarter, they just got ran off the field. The Philly had 14 to their 7. So at that point, it was like 24 to 14. And then that's when the fourth quarter came. That's when they got 7. Philly got 7, of course. And then, of course, Minnesota dropped 14, but it was garbage time mainly. Minnesota has to make up their mind. Are you going to keep Jefferson or Cousins? Cousins attempted 44 passes. That's unacceptable. Yeah, he had 4 touchdowns, no picks, 364 yards. Kirk Cousins, that's been his problem. He throws the ball too much. 44 attempts is way too much for Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins need to be between 25 to 30 attempts a game. At least. 44 to almost 50 attempts is unacceptable. And that's why they lost. Because they were too busy trying to throw themselves back in the game instead of establishing a running game. They barely ran any running back screens. They didn't run no draws. They didn't even get any creativity. And this is my problem with the Minnesota Vikings. You put your defense in harm's way. Now, Total yards, they had 374. Of course, passing yards, 346. Rushing yards, that 28 has got to be up to at least 50 to 70 yards. It got to be 50 or 70 yards at least. Got to be. Because you leave a lot of, you let the defense on the other side, well, your defense, excuse me, you make your defense tired when you're not giving them time to relax or breathe on the sideline. Now, yards per play, they had 7, which is good. First downs, 19. And third downs, they were 60%. See, that's great. See, I can live with that. Out of 10 attempts, 60%, boom. So that means if y'all would have ran the ball more and cut off on the fumbles, Minnesota could have won this game. Seriously. But they have to work on and clean that up. If they could clean that up, man, Minnesota could bounce back. They ran a total of 55 plays. They had only 2 penalties. So you would think they would win this game, but no. 4 fumbles lost is the reason why. That's why their time of possession is only 20 minutes, 32 seconds, because they lost the ball way too much. They've got to learn to hang on to the ball, because when you play in your division, it's not going to be the same. Now, Madison had 8 carries, 28 yards, averaged 4 yards a pop. I believe he fumbled. I believe he was one of the guys. I think he fumbled twice. I'm not sure. But then Ty Chandler came in one. So the thing is, you got to get the running game involved. Now, if the running game isn't going, then, which it wasn't, because of the fumbles and then them going away from it, I believe, too early. I believe they went away from the running game too early. I would have kept running it. I'd have kept pounding the ball. Now, receiving-wise, Jefferson had 11 receptions, 159 yards. He's a dog. He's gonna always have his stats. The thing with Jefferson is that he's gonna be him. But the other guy's good on his other side. He has 2 other receivers. Well, there's 4 of them basically. You got Addison, Hawkinson, which is the tight end. You got Osborne. I love KJ Osborne. He's really developed nicely. His game is good. He can run routes. To me, he runs routes better than Jefferson. Gets off the jam better. But Jefferson, of course, is a superstar. He's more athletic, could get to places, catch the ball in ways that Osborne only could dream of. So, but they've got to get the running game. They got to find a way to establish it. If they do that, they're fine. But do I think the Vikings are going to do something? I think the Vikings need to trade Kirk Cousins. They need to trade Kirk Cousins. Him and Jefferson aren't going to get along. Just do what you can this season and try to go get a quarterback in the offseason or in the draft. Like, start for fresh. Just, because you're not going nowhere with Kirk Cousins. And the defense was put in a bad predicament all night. So they're going to blame Flores for everything, but it's like, what can he do when your offense isn't running the ball? They're not giving the defense time to rest or break. If you notice how, what was I going to say? Oh, I forgot. Excuse me, I forgot it. I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, that's what they have to do. They have to play a lot better with that. They've got to learn how to buckle down more. Like, if you look at, the Browns, sorry about that. The Browns game, Deshaun wasn't doing well throwing the ball. You know what they did? They ran the ball. The Bengals are trying to throw the ball all around the field in the rain. It's like, what are you doing? But the Vikings have got to get more creative. They got to find ways. If they're not running the ball, do what Brady used to do. Brady used to throw screens or throw halfback flares or halfback wheels. He did all type of stuff to incorporate the running back to mask the fact they didn't have a running game. They didn't have a running game until they got Corey Dillon. And then after Corey Dillon, you had Maroney they tried and stuff. And then, of course, not Maroney, but excuse me. Not only Maroney, it was somebody else after him. But anyways. Oh yeah, LeGarrette Blount. You got Blount, then you got James White basically being a Kevin Falk. So if the Vikings don't have a running game, go for a screen. Move the ball somehow. Stop with these reverse pitches and all of this stuff that's irrelevant that's going to make you lose yards instead of gain yards. And that's my issue. But the Eagles, do I think they could win? I don't know. They offensively, as a team, I believe they could run through the NFC. But if Glock Purdy is if he manages to stay healthy the whole season, he does what he has to do, man, San Fran might be the best team. But Dallas, to me, they don't have enough firepower on offense. Dak has no help on offense, but it's funny to me, everybody said he has help. And it's delusional Dallas fans and delusional Dallas haters. I'm like, dude, he ain't got no help. Cadillac is not going back there. Excuse me, I said Cadillac. Oh, God. But, you have to figure out a way. Excuse me what I said. You have to figure out a way. So, you have to understand where you're going with it. But I'm not sold on the Vikings. I told you guys, I've never been sold on them. When they lost Dalvin Cook, to me, they lost that heart on their offense. Now it's Justin Jefferson or bust. And that's unfair. But that's the way life is. So I give the Eagles offense a C or C minus. The reason for that is Jalen missed some throws early. He was missing throws left and right, and it was kind of not going in that direction, and you know how it is. I lost my train of thought, but the Eagles could be the Eagles proved back to back they can play in close games, which is good. Everybody's talking about, how they won. It's impressive to win close games like that. So, their offense, I give them a C. They got to work on the passing game a little more. Jalen got to get the ball up under when he throws more. Defensively, I give them a C minus because they gave up way too many passing yards. The only reason I don't make it a D or an F is because they stopped the run. So that's a plus. But you're going to go against the Niners and other teams who are good at running. We'll see then how tough your defense is. So, like I said, thank you for listening, man. Oh, yeah, the Vikings, their offense gets a B plus or B minus. No, I say a B minus because they didn't run the ball a lot, but Kirk Cousins compensated with his throwing attempts and, almost winning the game, coming back to win it, but it was out of reach most of the game. And defensively, I give them a D. Defensively, the Vikings have got to do better. They got to stop the run better. They just got to get physical. Up front, they was getting pushed around and manhandled. So, they need something like that. You need something like that. So they really need that. So, like I said, let me know your assessment of the game. What you like or didn't like? Like I said, you had, I told you what the Vikings did and stuff, like I said. So let me know in the comment section what you thought about the game. I thought the game was like a C. It was okay. It had some parts where it was like, oh, goodness. But it's okay overall. But let me know in the comment section what you thought about the game. Give me your assessment. Let me know how you feel. Thank you for listening, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit that notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if y'all love what you hear, you can donate to the page by going to the description box. Hitting that link in my description box that will take you to my Cashapp. And if you got Zelle, you can take the number in the description box, put it in your Zelle, and you'll be able to find me from meetings or whatever. So from not meters, but from donations. You can super chat when we're live or premiere. And like I said, for the you guys got to bear witness with me. I'm tired. When you talk about like what am I talking about? I'm all over the place. So basically you can go to Zelle, use that number, put it in there to search, and basically you find my account. You can donate. You guys can super chat when we're live or premiere video, or you can leave a super thanks after it's over. So let me know in the comment section how you feel. Thank you for listening. We out. D's.